Frag Radio. Frag Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, baby, for another episode of a Frag Radio. And here
Alright,
with
Macho
you
Man.
today are your boys, Radius
And Ray.
Bang Bang.
And just matter of fact.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, brother. It's Frag Radio, brother.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friend.
Brother. Alright, so first gotta get those plugs out there, and you know J Ray is the one. Bam! So let them know. Let them know.
We are currently on several apps.
Several. It's multiple.
Appy Gamer, World
Big
Video Game News, Game RSS, Game On, Xbox One News, and Xbox Game News. And you can also check us out on Twitter.
Yeah!
FragTagRadio.com, YouTube, iTunes, Twitch, Stitcher, TuneIn, the whole shebang.
Just the whole shebang.
Just
We're everywhere. We're everywhere. Also, shouts to Troy.
Shouts to Troy over at Game On, yeah.
But, yeah. Alright, so, first, we've all played with Fulgore.
Yeah.
New update for Killer Instinct came out. And not just Fulgore, added the arcade mode.
Oh, yeah.
And also the 8-player lobbies for multiplayer. So before we go into Fulgore, I'd like to talk about the lackluster arcade mode. Alright?
Yeah.
Not to say it's bad,
Yeah.
but it's not great either. Alright?
The word lackluster doesn't reinforce positive.
Well, I'm not...
It could have been a lot more.
It is. Alright, so pretty much you pick a character, and it'll show you a bio of that character. Fairly in-depth bio.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like 2 paragraphs.
2 whole paragraphs.
Yeah, I mean, they really went out of their way on those bios.
They did. They did. It might even tell you like their height, their allegiance. I mean, good. They pulled out all the
It
stops.
took a long time to develop that kind of stuff.
I mean, evidently a few months.
I know.
So, you know. So after you see that awesome bio, then you fight the 7 characters that you did not pick, right? After you fight those 7 characters, you will be treated to a short cutscene. Probably about a minute and 30 seconds long,
Oh.
if you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
And it's not even a motion scene, really. It's more like pictures.
Oh.
While text comes up.
It showed I did it with Orchid,
Yeah.
and it was like Orchid was strengthened by being reunited with her brother Jago, and it showed Orchid standing there in a heroic pose with Jago walking up in the background, right? And then after it said like a few more words, then it showed them both standing together, like
Brother and sister.
yeah, reunited. It's on now.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Reunited.
I didn't see that.
But then the credits come up, and there's actually a pretty killer instinct song.
Pretty killer instincts.
Yeah.
Exactly, in the credits.
Yeah.
And it's got Chief Thunder and Sadira like fighting each other. The credits are actually more impressive than the whole arcade mode.
Jeez, yeah.
That's where that development time was.
I'm thinking it might have been. You know? But yeah, so that is actually, you know, like I said, it's not bad. It just could have been way better.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure that they're going to be adding more over time. Like Jerry was saying that you read or heard somewhere.
Yeah, if they've actually come out and said, and this was like the last week, they said the second season will have a nasty boss fight at the end, and then then he will be playable. So I was thinking, and this was right before the season 1 actually hit. So I'm thinking, okay, well, there must be a boss for season 1.
Well, this is Iron Galaxy Studios that'll be doing season 2,
right? And that's the guy who whoever took over the project as head of the project was the one that came out and said it was going to be that was exact direct quote, nasty boss fight to finish season 2, and that he would be playable. So is it going to be Gorgos?
Idol.
Yeah.
Idol. It very well
That'd be
could be
the one,
Idol.
too.
Idol or
Unless it's
Gorgos.
someone new.
Yeah, because
I'd prefer a classic.
I would too.
You know,
I'd like to see Idol.
work on somebody new for season 3 possibly, but I'd like to see a classic for season 2.
I'd like to see, as far as the roster for season 2, I'd like to see all the characters that aren't in there, like Sendor.
Combo.
Oh yeah.
I never was a fan of
TJ
him, but
Combo.
yeah,
TJ
he
Combo.
needs to be in there, and
Raptor.
Maya, Raptor, Riptor. They all need to be in there, but also I'd like to see one new character like Sadira too, just to keep it fresh.
Well, there's definitely
I'm
going to
sure
be a
they
new
will,
character.
yeah.
Maybe, we might even get 2 new characters in season 2, because honestly, they're running out of characters.
And don't give us a Shadow Fulgore and call him a new
like that.
character.
I don't know. Shadow Jago's pretty badass,
He's still just Jago. He's still the same.
but he
character.
looks freaking awesome.
Well, 'cause it's a costume. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, that's a costume. I want
Might as
to.
well just play Jago.
But in the game though, he's listed as a separate character.
I know.
Like Retro Jago is just part of the
Right.
same thing. You just select up
And
above
I
his
don't know
picture.
why that
but
is.
Shadow Jago is actually completely separate. He's his own character.
That's so silly that that's the case because they could have just easily made another costume, and
Could have
just
made
like-
it one of the colors.
right. Just like they did with the Retro Jago. You know how like with when you go to the character and you
But
just press
then-
up to go to that other one.
Then he wouldn't have seemed as exclusive.
I guess
You
you're
see,
right.
because the only way to get Shadow Jago was to buy the day one gold membership.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I actually hope they keep him exclusive to that
Yeah.
and never release him ever
Yeah.
for any other reason, because then he'll actually be something special.
Yeah.
If they release him later on down the line, and that just kills it.
Yeah.
But
He's
anyway,
yours. He's yours.
exactly. So the 8-player lobbies haven't really, for lack of a better word, dicked around with it much.
Yeah.
I haven't either.
So we can't really talk about that right now.
It's a lobby. I mean, there's not much to talk about that. I would think.
Obviously it's a lobby, but what I'm wondering is how it works. You know what I mean?
They probably have
Who
just like
fights
Street
first? Is it random? And then the winner obviously fights somebody else.
Yeah.
But how does the next?
I would
person get
imagine
chosen
at
and so
the
forth?
in the order that
Or-
you joined, you would get in a line.
Yeah.
And then just fight
off.
the first person.
Or is it set up where there's 4 battles going on at once?
And whoever is eliminated, whoever wins, they
Right.
tally up.
It's set up more like a tournament way. So you know what I mean? It could be either one. That's what I'm interested in.
Well, I did hear something about spectating and commenting or voting or whatever. And so if that's the case, then it sounds like 2 people are fighting while the other 6 are watching. Because how would what would be the point?
Well,
plus, what if only 5 people were in there?
if
Yeah,
it's tournament mode and you've lost and been eliminated, then you could leave or spectate.
True.
Like I said, I don't know what it is.
Check it out.
But yeah, so
What if
anyways,
it's only 3 people in the
we'll
lobby?
get down on that before next episode. Talk about it more in depth. Let's go to Fulgore.
Yeah, I've always been a huge fan of Fulgore. He was always my favorite character in the previous games. And to be honest with you, I haven't played with him a whole lot yet, but I did mess around with him. And he reminds me of Jago. Yeah, Jago is exactly like him as far as the type of character he is. The difference is he's got a spinal element to him too, whereas even though Spinal doesn't have a completely separate meter, the skulls that he collects essentially are a meter. But this actually replaces the complete Shadow meter with what they call the reactor core. Mm-hmm. And the only way to fill it all the way up is to get hit instinct mode. Now you can get it all the way up as far as charging using the charge move. But you have to use instinct mode to get the core spinning or whatever. But the only thing that makes him tough to play is he cannot gain his meter like everybody else. Everybody else can gain meter by taking hits, doing specials, receiving specials, all that. He can't. Yeah. So if you fight like you normally do, you're never going to get any shadow meter. You have to do that charge move where he charges up. And if you're playing against a rush down character, it makes it very, very difficult, as you saw right before we started playing. Because
it gives you no time.
And you have to hold it to keep
so
charging
make
it with the heavy one, or you can do the quick one, which only gives you 2 pieces of meter. But that being said, he is fun to play because it adds a big strategic element. And against aerial characters, he's deadly because he has that cross-screen eye beam that he can do up, down,
and he's
or
got
straight.
Jago's uppercut.
Yeah, he does, and he has the fireball, the triple fireball.
And even that could be anti-air if you time it right.
Right, and the only problem with that is if you do a triple fireball and somebody blocks it, it essentially fills up their entire shadow.
Yeah, that's true.
And so there's Killer Instinct's so great because it's such a paper rock scissor element to the whole game, and this is along the same lines. But I do think that he's going to be really awesome. I think he's going to be tough to learn. You're going to have to take time to learn because he plays differently. Yeah. As far as judging your meter than everybody.
The biggest part's going to be learning how to utilize that.
Well, imagine this. When you play a Spinal, what is this? You always are draining other people's meter. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So when it's already hard to get meter in this one, as far as using Spinal, what if you're playing Spinal and he's draining your meter all the time? It makes it very difficult. Yeah. So
that's where you do a different strategy.
How are you feeling about him?
I like him. I mean, I like him more than I did in the first two, to be honest.
Still Chief Thunder #1?
Yeah, right now. And then probably a close second between Jago and Fulgore.
Close second? Yeah.
It's more or less the way they look, to be honest with you. Fulgore has so many more awesome looking moves compared to...
Orchid's still my #1 with Spinal being second.
Yeah, and I think that's probably how it is with me, with the exception of obviously Saberwolf instead of Orchid. And I think Spinal's my second favorite too. I do like Jago too. And from what I hear, as far as the top level tournaments of Killer Instinct, Jago dominates the circuit. Everybody, because he's the most well-rounded character against no matter what character the other person picks. If you use Jago, you're going to be well equipped to play them. Yeah. Whereas, like if you're using Sadira and you're playing, say, Fulgore, you're going to struggle. Yeah. Or if you're using Glacius and you're playing against Saberwolf. Yeah, true. Or Saberwolf playing against Glacius, I should say, will struggle because Glacius has all those defense moves to give him distance. Yeah. So, I guess that's why he dominates the circuit as far as he does. Because Jago is a good character. He has a lot of different things he can use. Yeah. A lot of different tools. So, but I do like Spinal. I think Spinal's an awesome character. Because if you can efficiently drain the other person's meter, you take away shadow moves from them. And when somebody hits you with a big combo with two shadows, gone, and hits a good ender on it, you're done. Yeah, you're
done, son.
You're in trouble.
Game over, man.
Game over, man.
Awesome. So if you've got Killer Instinct, and you haven't played it in a while, it's definitely worth taking the time to update and check out that new stuff because it really does make the game a ton better.
It's a shame that the
game actually feels complete now.
Yeah, that's true.
It does. But what I was going to say is it's a shame that they didn't take more time and add a really good story to it because that would have put the game over the top.
I was hoping more along the lines of like how Mortal Kombat.
Me too. And that's exactly what I was thinking. And that would have made the game fantastic. I mean, it's already a great game. It is. But it, like you said, it's always felt incomplete to me. And even though it does make the game feel more complete, it didn't put it over the top into that category where it can contend with AAA titles.
And people still have no freaking idea what Ultra Tech is unless you've been following Killer Instinct for the last 10 plus years.
Yeah. I know. I really am kind of disappointed that they didn't have at least a boss fight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
me too.
Even if he wasn't playable.
Right.
Yeah.
Put Idol in there and just like Goro is in the first Mortal Kombat. Okay, let us play him later in Season 2. Right. But I understand, there's balancing issues, but if he's only a boss, make him very difficult. Yeah. And where's the balancing issue? Nobody's going to use him and cheese with him because they can't.
Right.
So, you can worry about the balancing later. But.
Yeah, I mean, just like you. I mean, even though, it didn't turn out to be just like, Mortal Kombat with the story stuff, I was expecting at least a boss fight.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, if you really want it to be cheesy, put Shadow Jago in as the boss fight. But give us a boss fight, man.
Yeah.
Shadow Jago, you wouldn't even have had to...
That actually might have been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
So, that's something. But what are you going to do?
Would have even made for an interesting, weird story twist if you were like playing as Jago
and
Shadow Jago.
Yeah. I mean, they could. I mean, that would have been a cheap way to do it, but at least we would have got it. And instead of just a text bio at the beginning, have us have a cutscene at the beginning and end.
They had it in the first Killer Instinct.
In Mortal Kombat. And I will say, I was so impressed by the story mode that we actually got with the Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat redefined how story mode should be done in fighting games.
Exactly. You didn't pick a character. It chose what characters you played.
You played through every character.
And it did their story through it, so that made it cool because, you know, you had to learn all the characters to get through certain sections. You had no choice. Yeah. So I liked that about it. And there was cutscenes in between every fight, why they're fighting, how it came up. It redefined how stories can be told in arcade. And then Soul Calibur tried to do it to, you know...
lesser extent.
They didn't do nearly as good of a job. But, man, you know, Mortal Kombat really did redefine it. And they deserve a lot of credit for it. Boone over there. Gotta love them.
Gotta love them. Boone. Gotta love them. All right, so yeah, all right. Obviously, we've reviewed Killer Instinct and talked about it many times. So you play Wolf Among Us. Real quick, I'm gonna talk about Strike Suit Zero. So I just been playing this game in the last week, about 3/4 of the way through the game. So I'm getting close to the end. It definitely reminds me a lot of like a Star Fox.
I know. I haven't even played it.
Type of game.
And I watched the clips and I could tell.
But it's a lot more difficult than Star Fox. Definitely a little bit darker and more adult oriented.
Okay. Yeah, well, Star Fox had the cartoonish characters, the Nintendo style characters, which was part of the. You know. It was part of the lore though of Star Fox. Part of the draw. It was kind of kiddie, but you like that, you know. But this, that's the first thing I said to you when you said you were reviewing it. Was it looks just like Star Fox in the clips because it did.
Yeah. So
now, are all the areas open? It's never on rails, right?
No. Okay. No. Yeah. Every area is completely open. You can go just anywhere you want.
Yeah. Okay. So that's cool. Well, I know some segments of the last Star Fox 64 were on rails where you were kind of going.
Well, there was a Star Fox after 64.
What was
the last one on GameCube?
Yeah, that was like Star Fox Adventures or something like
really?
that. Yeah. It was like third person with the dinosaur land or whatever. Yeah. It was garbage.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't remember it, and I had a GameCube for a short time.
Yeah, I played it, and the graphics were great.
Star Fox 64 was dope, though.
Yeah, it was. So one of my favorite games on 64.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah. So, essentially the story is, you're this pilot that had been out of commission for a while for insubordination, and now they're bringing you back in because...
getting invaded.
You're a badass who fails to follow the rules.
Yeah. The people on Earth get like a beacon one day lands on Earth, and this is before we've learned like how to do deep space travel.
So nobody knows what the hell it is, right?
The beacon has plans of how to build a deep space spaceship. So we start building these deep space spaceships and start colonizing other worlds and trying to find the source of the beacon. Yeah. Right? Well, while we're trying to find the source of the beacon, these people that have left Earth and colonized these other worlds, they want to be independent from Earth. And and Earth isn't having none of that.
Yeah. They're like having that shit.
Yeah. They're like, yo, where are you? We're a unified force. Y'all are Earth, but y'all are just there.
Y'all are Earth.
So y'all can pretend y'all are independent, but if y'all act right, we're going to send our ships over there, and it's going to be some shit.
Did they just say, hey, Titanfall, can we borrow a story?
Well, so then one of these independent colonies finds the source of where the beacon came from, and it's like a crash site. And they make a deal with the government of Earth that they'll let the Earth science teams come in without a fight and study the site if they give them their independence. So Earth agrees. They send their science teams in, and they discover something that supposedly changes everything, right? But they won't tell the independent colonies what it is. And on top of that, they were lying about letting them be independent. They just wanted to get their science teams in there. So this pretty much leads into a war between Earth and the independent colonies.
And what side are you on in the game?
You are Earth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's this weird AI woman who's like hooked to this machine, and people just call her just straight up Control.
Oh, okay.
And she is like a weapon that has been used in previous wars, but she's not trust. You know, like you're the people you're with, like they use her because she gives you a strategic advantage, but they don't trust her.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
Because she evidently in another battle back in the day, she got a bunch of people killed.
Okay. Crazy bitch.
Because she considered them expendable, or whatever.
Calculating,
she's more about whatever it takes to win.
Yeah.
You know, she
doesn't have the emotion.
Yeah, she doesn't have any morality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she's not bound by that. But anyway, so you start out in just like a regular ship. But after like the first or second mission, they put you into this. The control says that you're with this other person, a chick, I forget her name, who's been like training you, walks you through the tutorial levels, getting you back in the swing of things.
Yeah.
And she's like, control's like, we've got this prototype ship, and someone needs to pilot it. And then the chick's like, oh great, so I'm gonna have to pilot this prototype ship. And then the control chick is like, no, I actually have studied your file, and you're not fit to fly that ship. I want, whoever your guy, I forgot your guy's name. You want him to fly the ship. So you fly this prototype ship. And it looks like a ship when it's a ship, but it like transforms into like this, I don't know.
It's like a mech looking thing?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's like a mech looking thing. Very Japanese looking. But it flies. And you can strafe with it, and it's got killer, damage. It can do a lot more damage than when you're in ship form. The problem is it's not as maneuverable as the ship.
Yeah.
When you're trying to, it's not as fast.
Yeah.
So you definitely are going to be switching back and forth, based on the situation, and the situation changes a lot while you're playing.
Situations always change.
Yeah. So you can equip your ship with 2 different types of guns and 3 different types of missiles.
Okay.
You can switch between them, I think, with the D-pad. Don't hold me to that, but you can switch between them. Is the point? And you can have 1 machine gun active at a time and 1 type of missiles active at a time. Machine guns, they got the pulse ones that do like a bunch of shots, but they don't have as long of a range. Okay. And then the regular ones that do less shots, but they got a longer range. And then the missiles, you've got regular missiles and then different types of homing missiles.
Okay. And so those are all like your power ups. You can't like.
Right.
Do you collect power-ups or
no, nothing like that.
Okay.
You do have shields, and when your shields are down, you want to try and get away from the fray until your shields recharge because your life goes down pretty quick.
Oh, okay.
The checkpoints in this game are pretty far spread apart. So when you are spread apart, you want to be mindful of what you're doing. Because if you die, then you're going to have to replay through 20 minutes of stuff.
Damn, so there's no checkpoints, really.
Right. Well, there are checkpoints. They're just very sparse.
No, that's what I mean. Like, kind of like Dark Souls-ish.
Well, it's not that hard.
Does it give you the feeling of like an old 2D like vertical shooter? Scooter?
No.
Like Radius or anything like that?
No, because you can go up, down, left, right,
well,
forward,
I meant like
backward.
the difficulty feeling. Like...
Well, it's definitely a fairly difficult game, like I said. And I'm just on normal. I'm not even playing on hard, and it's pretty hard on normal. So, like I said, you can strafe left to right. Interestingly, there's no real barrel roll.
You ain't hit up that easy, yo.
Like on Star Fox.
Yeah.
Which I was kind of hoping there'd be like a barrel roll.
Something like that, yeah.
But,
that's the move.
I haven't really ran into any, like, big boss fights. But, like, sometimes you won't just be fighting ships. Sometimes you'll be doing, like, all-out assaults on, like, actual space stations.
Oh, okay. So they mix it up.
Right.
Yeah, gotcha. Cool.
So... that's definitely pretty cool. I've really been enjoying the game. Like I said, I haven't completed it, so I don't really know the whole story. And you unlock more ships as you go. Like you're graded. You can get bronze, silver, gold, or platinum medals based on your performance and your score on each mission. And it's not. You don't want to do great and get those higher medals just for having the medal and the score. It actually unlocks cool stuff for getting the better medals. Like in some of the ships, you have to get the good medals to unlock.
Okay.
But interestingly, I've unlocked a few ships, but I never use them because I like using the prototype ship that transforms into the mech looking thing.
Did the other ships? Well, have you tried them?
I tried like 1 or 2 of them.
Did they have like a different mech form or anything like that?
No.
Any different weapons or anything like that?
They just have like different stats and they look a little different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they don't transform into the mech, which is like
so
pretty much the whole point of the game.
Yeah.
So
it'd be cool if they would have had like a Crimson Dragon type deal where like all the ships had different specials and
yeah, where you could have unlocked like different prototypes.
Yeah.
All their own little...
But all in all, I would say 3.75, closing in on 4 frags.
4 frags?
Yeah.
Closing up in on for Frag.
Closing up in on it. Pretty good game, especially for $20.
Nice.
And so, Wolf Among Us Episode 3.
Started on it, halfway through it. At the end of the second episode, there's a major... Someone is brought to the attention of Bigsby that, you know, they might have like a prime suspect.
Right.
And that's where it ends.
Right.
And at the beginning of episode 3, they pick right up where that, like, literally in the same room, same situation. Boom, you pick right up and go storming off. And there are some choices you made, one of which I really should replay.
So I know you said episode 2 wasn't as action-packed as episode 1.
Episode 1 was really action-packed.
Yeah.
How does episode 3 fare as compared to those two?
So far, it's been just a lot of questioning again, trying to figure out where this person's at. And a lot of other characters that come in and try to mislead you.
Right.
To kind of throw you off or kind of just get in your way.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they intend to or, you know, do it accidentally, they're just in your way.
Right.
And I finished up where I was held at gunpoint at a funeral.
Nice.
And after that, stuff went bad, and then the group that was there dispersed, and then that's where I pretty much stopped.
Gotcha.
But so far, we had to find this guy. We're trying to find him, question him, figure out where he's at. He's got some goons. We dealt with them. Tried questioning him before. Nothing happened. So now it's just, you know, a while.
So pretty much Wolf Among Us is still on track, still great.
Yeah, it's still, fleshing out the story.
If you played the first 2 episodes, you definitely want to continue on.
Yeah, you do. Definitely. It's a great game. The story alone. I mean, if it was in a book, you know, I'd read that.
Oh, yeah. Awesome possum.
It's an awesome possum.
All right, so that's the reviews for this episode. Before we go into the news, we got that drawing out the Frag Tag Radio Trucker Hat of Justice.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Drawing number 1 is for Need for Speed. Our Need for Speed winner, Slow Lightning, winner of Need for Speed.
Congratulations.
Need for Speed Rivals on Xbox One going to Slow Lightning. Alright, and then winner of Call of Duty Ghosts, Dark Passenger. So we got the Slow Lightning and the Dark Passenger. Congratulations, ladies and gents.
Congratulations.
We'll be shipping your prize to you promptly. Enjoy. Hopefully I wanted to have another contest sometime soon. I'm thinking maybe a Titanfall contest.
That's cool. Yeah.
Maybe a 12-month gold membership contest. Maybe a picture of these nuts contest. You never know what we might throw up on the
Open
internet.
that box and see a picture frame of these nuts.
I don't think anybody wants to win that contest.
Oh, man. But, sorry, so seriously. The news. April's free games. Hitman Absolution is free. By the time you hear this, it'll probably be free for maybe one more day. Better get it while you can. And then Deadlight will be free for the rest of the month. Deadlight is an awesome freaking game. That was actually one of the Summer of Arcade games. What was it, last year?
Yeah, that was a good game.
It was a really, really good game.
Yeah, I'd probably get that one.
All right, so
Hitman Absolution is a good game too.
It is one of the best Hitman games in a while. But yeah, so all right, so the big news: Phil Spencer has taken over as head of the Xbox division,
which I think we've talked about. I know we've talked about on the show that's what we'd like to see happen several times. So.
Yeah, and now it's happened.
I know.
So I think this is probably the best thing that could have happened.
I do too, because he seems Xbox. Like a gamer, and he seems like he has a passion for it, and I've always kind of liked him, so I think it's.
And he actually talks to the fans, on Twitter, and does interviews, and goes on shows like Jimmy Fallon. And he's actually interesting to listen to, not like robot Don Matrick who comes on stage and sounds like he just woke up out of bed.
We are making the console of the future.
Yeah.
I mean, one device
what if
for
you're
all your entertainment
What if you're in the
needs?
Navy and you're working on a submarine? Well, we've got a console for you. It's called Xbox 360.
Yeah, like, come on, dude.
Oh man, but so it was Phil Spencer who pioneered and got Ken Lobb and all of them getting Killer Instinct back. You know, if it wasn't for him talking to Ken Lobb and getting that going, we probably never would have had Killer Instinct. Yeah. You know, he was responsible for the acquisition of, you know, lots of different studios like Press Play, Twisted Pixel, which I think both of which were really good pickups from Microsoft.
Certainly, yeah, it's definitely a good move for them. I'm glad it happened.
Yeah,
you know, on the flip side of things,
and I think Microsoft is going to blow E3 out the water this year. I think they're probably going to have their best E3 in
a really good strong
years.
Show. Yeah,
after last year's, they need to come with someone strong
because since he's taken over for Xbox, a lot of people have been interviewing him, obviously, and whenever anybody asks him what his first priority is. Every time he said, right now I'm concentrating on E3. I want to have a killer E3. I want to have so many great games that there's no question that Xbox One is the console for great games. So I'm expecting a really, really good show. They're going to showcase an army of huge franchises. Xbox Live Arcade could return if the community calls for it, but I actually kind of like how it is now.
I do too. I like how it is now too. I think separating the games into arcade games and, you know, retail games is kind of silly. The only way we would benefit from that is maybe the price for the arcade games would drop some. Yeah. Because as of right now, let's say they release...
But the gamer score should stay at 1,000. I don't want to see those go back to 400 ever again.
No, me neither. But, you know, let's say they came out with, like, Super Street Fighter 3 Turbo or Online Edition, blah, 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 blah. A game that's been out on 65 different consoles, you know, but they release it on Xbox One down the road. Okay, if it's released how it is now, are they going to charge $20 for that game or $14.99 like they have everything? When really that should be about a $5 title. You know, you know, so I could see maybe Xbox Live Arcade being in that type of thing if they come out with like
Dig Dug,
like a Pac-Man, Super Pac-Man edition, something like that. Pinball, you know, FX, something like that. You know, I see that, I get that, but you know, as far as separating, you know, digital games that aren't released, digital only games from games that are sold retail. I don't like that. I don't want to see them do that. Because then Killer Instinct would technically be an arcade title. Yeah, you're right. You know.
Agreed. All right. So, and then Xbox boss Phil Spencer also recently, he said a Halo 2 remake would have to nail the multiplayer if they did it. So I think, you know, like, in a way, he's trying to say that they might not be doing that.
Well, that's good. Then that means the Halo that supposedly is coming out this year is not Halo 2 Anniversary, which I would be okay with that, but I really want to see a new Halo.
Yeah.
Built from the ground up for
Xbox One.
Yeah. That's what I want to see.
Me too. All right. And then, so there's been a lot of talk about VR lately. You know, since Oculus got bought by Facebook, which was insane. Insane. I think Oculus is pretty much dead now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, but how could you turn up that kind of money?
I wouldn't have.
Yeah. You would have turned away that kind of money?
Hell yeah.
Dude, do you realize the long road ahead that those guys over at Oculus still had? I mean, yeah, they've come out with an incredible piece of technology, but what if it doesn't sell? What if they never got it to sell?
They were the pioneers, though.
Absolutely, they certainly were, and they still are. They still have their legacy on that. The only difference is...
They've lost respect in the eyes of like pretty much 99.9% of gamers. I don't think anyone's going to buy that now. People are more likely to go out and pick up a PS4 and buy Project Morpheus.
All I'm trying to say is the road ahead of them was so incredibly steep that the money that they made from selling it probably, unless they
John Carmack now works for Facebook. Think about that for a minute.
I know.
Unless they knocked it out of the park, though, they no longer have to worry about, you know, everything they would have had to do to get it to mass market. I mean, I would have sold just because it would have been such a huge risk not to. Yeah. You know, because you know what, 10 years from now they could have been suicidal for not selling that because if it isn't, you know. So I understand why they did, you know, but
you know what? If they had tried and failed without doing that, at least they could have still had their dignity intact.
Well, they haven't.
Now if they try and fail, they're just pieces of shit
that are very, very rich. Whereas they could have had their dignity but been poor as shit down the road.
I'd rather have my dignity.
Nobody's ever flashed
I'm more about the
$2.5 billion in your face either. So
yeah,
you don't know what you do when somebody offered you $2.5 billion. I don't think anybody does. It's easy to say that until you have $2.5 billion in your face, and then you're
pretty good.
Never have to work another day in your life and be mega rich and just become an investor where you don't have to do anything but invest in people, and then more money comes in, and then more money comes in, and you're not doing nothing.
Sounds nice.
Sounds like Mark Cuban on the Shark Tank. He is the owner of the Mavericks. He just bought a basketball team because he had broadcast.com and then sold it for billions and billions of dollars, and then became a billionaire, and then now he just bought a basketball team. He sits back and owns a basketball team. He's on a TV show, Shark Tank, just investing in things. I mean, it'd be pretty awesome to be that if you ask me. Mark Cuban's my hero. I love that guy, man.
So there's a lot of talk about VR. Obviously, Sony unveiled theirs.
Yeah.
And then we got, Microsoft just recently acquired, a whole bunch of patents for VR stuff. They've just been buying them up left and right. Like they spent like over $150 million on buying these patents. And we heard stuff about an Xbox VR headset. We talked about that on a podcast like almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, there was,
when those documents leaked out.
Yeah, there's something, gosh, I can't remember the name of it. The Dream Room or something like that. I wanted to see that. That thing was
it where it displayed the picture outside of the TV on the
it kind of changed the scenery around you.
That was cool.
Man, that thing was cool. I would have loved to have seen that.
Yeah, I actually probably would be more likely to use that than throw a big giant headset on my face.
For real, yeah.
It would have to be lightweight, for one. It would have to be very seamless and sleek to where it's not bulky and it would have to knock the visuals out of the park.
Yeah.
That's
true. I just don't want to have to strap like a Virtual Boy to my forehead. You know what I mean?
Virtual Boy, yeah.
Well, that's kind of where we're at right now with the Oculus. It looks kind of like a Virtual Boy with a head strap on it.
It does. And the Sony one was a lot thinner and lighter than that, but you still have to put headphones on
top of that.
Yeah, you got, it's
you
just...
gotta set yourself up.
It might just be too much. I don't know, that it's... I don't know that it has a mass market appeal. And that's...
You're right.
I just don't... I think it would be a niche thing. I think people would buy it, that wanted to try it out. But I don't ever see it being a mass market thing. I just don't. And unless it's
one thing's clear, only one person's going to come out on top on this VR thing. There's not enough room for 3 people to... Microsoft, Sony, and Oculus.
Well, the leg up that Sony and Microsoft have is they already have a big install base of people with their consoles that probably would buy it. Oculus doesn't. Now they have the PC gamers.
They have all the Facebook people.
How picky are PC gamers?
Who doesn't want to browse their Facebook in virtual reality? I mean, come on.
Super.
You haven't dreamed about that lately?
I mean...
God, I have that dream every night.
Now, we know Facebook is trying to get a lot more involved in gaming. So that's where they're going with that.
Well, they've been losing popularity over the last year or so.
Yeah, they have. Their stocks went way down, and it's because they can't find a way to get money. Facebook used to make a lot of money on advertising dollars. Nowadays, everybody's pulling up Facebook on their smartphones, not computers. So all those ads that come up on your computer don't show up on your smartphone.
Well, they could easily throw an ad on the app just like everybody else does.
And they do, 1 or 2. But it's they're not getting, because so many advertisers and stuff know that they're losing a ton of money with that, and that's why their stocks have been way down. Is that simple fact right there? And it's interesting how something as small as smartphones and stuff can change things.
That it is.
Who does access Facebook on a computer now? I mean, not many. There are some.
I do on my Surface.
There are some, but...
Which is technically a computer.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what I mean? There's some, but not many.
Yeah.
Almost everybody.
I got you. All right, so moving on to Titanfall. All Titanfall DLC modes will be free. So hopefully they put a free-for-all mode in there. I actually just put an article up on the website this past week about things that we would like to see come to Titanfall via free updates, things we'd like to come to Titanfall via DLC, and things we'd like to see in the inevitable sequel to Titanfall, Titanfall 2. So if you're interested, check that out on the site. Xbox 360 version just came out. It runs at an average of 30 frames per second compared to the Xbox One's 60 frames per second. which is not surprising on 10-year-old hardware. Also, the screenshots I've seen look really muddy.
Yeah, you were telling
textures are a lot duller and not quite as sharp on the 360, which is obviously to be expected.
But I mean, even I feel like that they could have at least made the colors, just as vibrant.
Yeah.
For some reason, the colors just look. It's like that they took the vibrancy meter and just cut the colors down to dullness.
It's a balancing thing. They probably wanted it to run as smooth as they possibly could.
Well, yeah,
they had to sacrifice some things. So I mean, that's a big game. I always knew.
Did you see where this came out like just yesterday? Somebody was interviewing EA, asked them, do they plan on releasing Titanfall on Games on Demand on 360, and they said no, they're not going to release Titanfall on Games on Demand on 360 because they don't feel like it's the definitive Titanfall experience, which I think is pretty crazy for them to say. Because I mean, if you're trying to sell copies of that game on 360, you're just going to come out and be like, yeah, we've got this game on 360, but it's not the definitive experience.
Well, they're trying to get people to go out and upgrade to an Xbox One.
Yeah.
I see.
Well, I would expect Microsoft to say that. But EA?
Yeah.
You figure they would want, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, they might be wanting to let people know who bought it on 360. Hey, you got Titanfall, but you don't have the best version. So if you want the best version, go out and buy the Xbox.
Trying to get those double sales.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm sure
that makes sense.
I'm sure they're getting some kind of a commission or percentage off the Titanfall bundle, which they're pushing heavily.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that it helps both of them to do that.
Gotcha. Major Nelson says Xbox One external storage will be coming, quote unquote, soon.
He said that for the last month and a half.
Soon. All right?
Soon's a couple months.
Soon.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
And then Microsoft has plans for possibly doing paid alpha access to games. Now, Steam's been doing this for a while with games like DayZ and stuff. Like, obviously, developers, usually they have these small, discrete, secretive teams alpha test their games.
Yeah.
But it's been getting more and more popular to let the fans alpha test games by charging them a little bit of money, and you get to alpha test a cool game way before it comes out, and they get more money for development, which in turn makes the game better. To see that come into consoles, I think is pretty cool, and I also think that it further blurs the line between console and PC gaming. Mm-hmm. Which brings me to my next point. Microsoft is working toward a renewed focus and growth on Windows and PC gaming, and Xbox One can run Windows 8.1's new universal apps. This is the new update that just came out for Windows 8.1. Apps for Windows 8.1 are now universal, which can run across all Microsoft platforms that run Windows.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So cross-platform games and apps are very likely between Xbox One and Windows 8.1 from here forward.
It'd be nice if we could get an HBO Go.
Yes. Although,
can you get HBO Go on your Surface?
I don't think that app is on the Windows Store for Windows 8.
Wow, man. I know it wasn't on Windows Phone 8. It's just...
I need to hurry up on that one.
With Game of Thrones hitting, you would have thought that would have been a priority.
I thought for sure it would have I thought it would have came out the day that Game of Thrones.
That would have made sense. It would have been a good way to push the app and Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
To a lot of gamers.
Yeah. But unfortunately not. All right, so Japan, there's an Xbox One exclusive probably going to be announced to E3, possibly TGX, being developed by an awesome Japanese studio.
We'll see.
Leave that open to speculation. But there's a Japanese exclusive, which will be coming to America and UK as well. Yeah. But,
coming to America.
According to the developers of Oddworld, Xbox One performance quickly catching up to PS4 as Microsoft improves the tool set for developers and implements things like DirectX 12 and things like that, which we've said on the show before and is no surprise. Forza 5 DLC cars now unlock instantly. Thank God.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
About that for a while.
Thank God. I bought that Lamborghini, was it the Reventon? And then for like $3, and then I go on there and I need like 2 million in-game credits. I'm like, are you serious?
What they want you to do is then go buy the token.
Yeah,
the tokens.
Exactly.
Right.
So you're basically buying the DLC twice.
Yeah.
But see, for me to have enough tokens to get that, I would have had to have bought the $20 token pack.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
so that would have been $23 I would have spent on one car.
That's why thank God they did that.
Yeah.
Because that was just ridiculous. Yeah. And no in-game currency required. So I'm glad they fixed it. They also fixed the glitch.
Oh, yeah.
That I had run into where I was playing the same race, the final race of a circuit, over and over and over and over and over. Glad that glitch got fixed.
Yeah, really.
Thanks, Turn 10.
Continue on.
Also, they've stripped back the Project Spark microtransactions.
Oh my God!
After beta testers complained about it, buying Spark time.
Oh my gosh, that was the stupidest. And then every cool thing to use when you're making a game.
Yeah,
costs money.
Those gold bricks.
I put it down. It was so frustrating.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
I'm glad they took that out.
Me too.
That's crazy.
I think microtransactions need to just die.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I mean, obviously, Project Spark is free to play, so I can understand microtransactions to a small extent in free to play games. Mm-hmm. But if it's not free to play, there shouldn't be microtransactions at all, really, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But they're not stopping because people buy it.
Yeah,
people buy it.
And
as long as people keep buying it, they're going to keep doing it. Xbox One release of Minecraft is really close, says Microsoft. And I know Solomon is going to be super happy to hear that because he asks me every single day, when's the Xbox One version of Minecraft coming out? Yep. When's the Xbox One version of Minecraft coming out?
Lucas asked me that too. He asked me.
I don't know.
Soon.
It's coming, okay?
Just wait.
Something else. Doom 4 beta details revealed by Bethesda. The beta will only be on Xbox One, PS4, and PC, and will require a gold subscription. The game launches on May 20th.
May 20th, Doom 4 comes out?
Doom 4, yep.
Beta, I guess.
Holy cow, I didn't know that.
That's what it says, unless they got that wrong. But yeah, I just copied and pasted it straight there, so May 20th. Telltale's Game of Thrones, this is what I was talking about before the show. Game of Thrones to run concurrently with the HBO series.
Well, I think that could mean two different things. It could mean, like you said, that it'll come out, it should come out while season 4 is playing, or it could mean that the time period that it takes place in the game runs concurrent with the time period that you're watching on the show. So
yeah, that could be taken that way too. I didn't think about that.
So I guess we'll have to wait and see. I tend to think maybe they mean more towards the latter.
I hope it comes out when the season's over, because I don't really feel like waiting a long time for it.
Although it is such a long wait between seasons, a whole year, I wouldn't mind having something Game of Thrones to occupy me while I'm waiting for the next season. So
exactly, and Lord knows it takes Telltale a year to finish a whole season of something.
I know. Yeah, I know.
It's been 2 months since episode 2 of Wolf Among Us.
Yeah.
So they take their sweet time,
and I think part of that is that they've got a lot on their plate now with the Borderlands, with the Wolf Among Us, with the Walking Dead.
Yeah. They need to up their team size.
Yeah, well, they certainly do. But I think that's why it's taken longer for these episodes, because initially they had talked about every month. Yeah, and it's not every month, not even close.
No.
The Wolf Among Us...
It's every 2 months.
Yeah, maybe even every 3. The Wolf Among Us has taken quite a sweet time to come out, because between episode 1 of The Wolf Among Us came out before Xbox One launched.
Yeah.
Okay? So, we're talking about September, about 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, we're talking about 8 months for 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Wow. When you put it that way, that's...
Yeah.
I mean, then it's almost like by the time you play that next episode, you feel so disconnected.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you really are.
That you almost need to just replay through the previous episodes again to get back into it.
We'll always try to recap, at the beginning when you start playing.
But when the gap is that wide, even a recap ain't cutting it.
I had a hard time when I picked up Wolf Among Us. I was like, what's going on? And then finally I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
I remember that happening in the episode too.
Do you think Alan Wake would have been as good of a game if you had to wait 3 months in between each chapter?
No chance.
No
way.
No chance. Way to throw that Alan Wake in there.
I had to hit Alan Wake.
I had to plug him in there. Speaking of which, looking forward to Quantum Break this year.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
And then we talked about Killer Instinct with the new lobbies and stuff.
Taken over by
Iron Galaxy Studios.
Double Helix is now owned by Amazon, who is pushing their gaming hardcore.
hardcore for their new Kindle TV.
The Fire TV. Have you seen the controller? It looks just like a 360 controller.
Does it?
Oh my gosh.
It does.
It looks exactly like a 360 controller. I mean, it's cool.
Xbox Live reputation system has been tweaked. Now abusive players will lose privileges, like you won't be able to stream to Twitch if you have a bad rep. Which I think makes sense.
Yeah.
DirectX 12 was just shown off at the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco. DirectX 12 will require 50% less graphics processing power for games.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty crazy. So that's like Xbox One just got double as powerful as it already was. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice thing about the next generation, the new generation, is that these consoles have so much more potential to grow in power because they resemble PCs a lot more than the last ones. The last ones, they had a little potential to grow with tweaks and stuff. Nowhere near what we're dealing with now. So the life cycle of these consoles could be more than 10 years.
I hope that the life cycle of these is at least the same as it was for 360 and PS3.
Sure I don't want to have
a lot of analysts have been predicting that they're going to go back to the 4-year thing, like when we were kids.
Really?
No, if they're going to be like.
I know Michael Pachter, and then there was another
silly
one.
Because it's going to take a while to get
the install base up.
Xbox One.
Why would you want to release a new console when you just got your install base up for this one?
Yeah.
I could see, and this is,
I could see
Microsoft
6 minimum.
I could see Microsoft maybe going to a new console quicker than Sony because of the bad rep that they had initially to wash their hands of it. But that's only if Sony blows them out the water in sales. And right now, it's Microsoft sales have picked up drastically. So I don't.
And now with Phil Spencer in charge,
yeah.
I think it's only going to get better.
I think only way that'll happen is if sales are struggling a little bit.
And they've been dropping the price. Like you can get Xbox One with Titanfall or Forza for $450 pretty much everywhere right now.
Yeah.
Even on the official Microsoft store, they're selling the bundle with Titanfall for $450.
Yes, they are.
So, and then J-Ray, excited about this one. Far Cry 4 set in the Himalayas.
Yeah.
Has elephants.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're going away from the tropical island type deal because that's what they've done with every Far Cry to this day. I was such a huge fan of Far Cry 3. Really surprised by how much I liked it. And can't wait to see what a next-gen Far Cry 4 is going to do.
Well, it's looking like that it's only going to be coming to the next-gen consoles because they've confirmed that an Xbox One version is being developed, but they wouldn't say whether it would be coming to 360 or PS3.
Well, Ubisoft's doing the same thing with...
their whole thing with their new motto, next gen starts here.
Yeah. So, and that leads us right into the next piece of news. Assassin's Creed Unity was confirmed. They saw a trailer after it leaked and announced. And I gotta say, that supposed gameplay footage that they promised it looked freaking phenomenal.
Yeah. Titled or codenamed Unity, you play as a new assassin in Paris. The screenshots show a parkour up and parkour down buttons, which are new navigation mechanics. This was noted by Kotaku. The game's coming out this year, only on next-gen consoles, Xbox One and PS4, plus Windows PC. Set during the French Revolution, and you're playing an assassin named Arnaud.
Yeah. It's set during the French Revolution in the time of Robespierre.
Been in development for more than 3 years.
That's that period of French time. I like history. That's the only reason I know this stuff. The Reign of Terror with Marie Antoinette.
Oh, okay,
yeah, the guillotine, where thousands and thousands and thousands of people died from the guillotine, and man, was such a great time period. I can't wait to see what they do with it because if right after
and
that
the teaser
time
trailer
period,
showed the guillotine.
Yeah, I know. They incorporate it into their logo, and it got me really excited when I saw that. But even better is right before that. Right following that is Napoleon Bonaparte.
Oh, really?
It leads right. I don't know if the game's going to cover that part, but that time period really, and that is how that essentially the French Revolution was the end of high monarchy.
Yeah.
That's when kings lost their power and democracy basically started, spreading.
Yeah.
And Napoleon played a large part in that. So I would like to see Napoleon, the game lead into that, and have ship battles and elements with Napoleon. Playing as Napoleon? I mean, not playing as Napoleon, but maybe alongside him.
I hope so. There was absolutely no water in that teaser.
Right, and it was set in Paris. It showed Paris, and I get that. But I would like to see some water elements. I mean, they have this great.
If not in Unity, I'm guessing it will be in Comet.
But Comet is going to be
set around 1758 in North America, specifically New York. You'll be playing as Shay, who is a Templar that becomes captain of a ship. So you'll be exploring the Atlantic Ocean, continuing the popular nautical. You will also
supposedly explore New York pre-American Revolution. Adewale is supposed to play a huge part in this Comet, and Adewale actually hints towards Comet in Freedom Cry, and supposedly Adewale is going to be really entwined in the story. It also allows them to kind of explore in between Assassin's Creed 3 and Assassin's Creed 4 a little bit more leading up to the Revolution.
I hope, obviously not anytime soon, but I hope eventually down the line they find a way to bring Ezio back.
Yeah, I think they're done with him though. I really don't think. I think they are completely done with him. I'd like to see him make a cameo, but that's
what I'm saying.
But that cartoon fleshed out his story.
He's my favorite character.
There
hasn't been a good character since him. Like Assassin's Creed 4, probably my favorite Assassin's Creed game. But
Edward was awesome.
My least favorite part about it is the character of Kenway.
Oh.
He's just really not that interesting of a guy.
In Assassin's Creed 3?
No, 4.
4. You don't like Edward?
No.
I really like him. I thought he was a good character. I mean, Ezio's definitely the best.
Well, I mean, Kenway, he's definitely better than Connor.
Well,
way better than Connor.
If you played the real life part of Assassin's Creed 4, they make jokes about that in it. Abstergo Entertainment is looking into characters for their next game, and it shows Connor, and it says, "We just feel he's a really dull character that has no marketability whatsoever. Who would want to play as this character?" I mean, this is in Assassin's Creed 4, so they're making jokes of it. Yeah, and they also say the same thing about Altair. But, yeah, I mean...
take Altair over Connor any day of the week.
Well, you're going to see the Kenway line, I think, extended in Unity because the time periods kind of match up to where they could still use his lineage, which is fine as long as the character is more Ezio-ish. I like his charming, sarcastic. His whole aura about him was really, his personality was real good. But I thought Edward was a big step up from Connor.
Yeah,
Connor was just an American.
Connor.
The type of character that Connor was, though, American
compared to Ezio, no contest, though.
A Native American, they really couldn't make, but so...
Ezio just had a killer personality.
They were trying to keep true to the story of him being a Native American, and him coming out drinking beer and, doing jokes and having sex with everybody just wouldn't have fit, So they had to do it that way, I think. But, I would like to see definitely... a more fleshed out,
I'd like to see 0 to 1 tailing missions.
God, I know. No, I get you have to have a couple of them in there for the whole Assassin's Creed thing to work, but God, the Assassin's Creed 4, once you pass halfway in the story, every other mission is a tail mission, and it almost made me put it down and not finish it.
Yeah. Pain in the rear.
But yeah, Assassin's Creed, we're always looking forward to more of that.
All right, so Robo-Toki's Human Element coming to PC, Xbox One, and PS4. If you remember, this was going to be an Ouya game. Now it's not coming to Ouya at all.
Yeah.
And it's coming to Xbox One, PS4, and PC. I think that's pretty cool. And it's being developed in CryEngine, which CryEngine has been optimized for Xbox One because Crytek and Microsoft, they work closely together, hence Rise on a Rome and all that type of stuff. So I think I hope that game turns out to be really cool. Although there's so many zombie games these days.
That's true.
It's
getting a little watered down now.
Yeah. Epic Games won't rule out Shadow Complex 2 and hints at some secret side projects. So always interested to see some new projects from Epic.
Speaking of that,
but would love to see Shadow Complex 2.
Some info on Fortnite actually hit the news waves.
Did you sign up for the beta?
No, I didn't.
I did.
I saw it hit the news waves, and I was thinking, "Oh, there it is." It's been a while since we heard anything about that.
You can sign up for the beta on their site.
I will.
You should.
I will.
It's awesome. Skipping that one because we already talked about it. Stealthy Unreal Engine first-person shooter Wake Up Call could come to Xbox One. This is by Dark Synergy. They'd like to release their next-gen sci-fi stealth shooter Wake Up Call. But it'll probably come out on the PC first and then Xbox One later. Gameplay is a blend of first-person sneaking and shooting with an emphasis on replayability. Oh. So my guess is it won't be a terribly long game, but it's one of those games that will have you'll want to play it multiple times.
Yeah.
Maybe different paths.
Yeah, different ways to take out enemies. Yeah.
City environments will be more intricate with more verticality to take advantage of, while forest environments will be flatter but have more hiding places due to the foliage and things like that. So it definitely sounds like it's going to be pretty cool. Enemies aren't going to be the pop up and die type of dummies that we've gotten used to over the years. They'll actually pick up on odd noises or movement, and they'll work as a team, which is almost unheard of.
That's crazy. That's good. That's with these new systems and stuff. That's where you start to see it all come together when you start having this smart, intricate AI.
Yeah,
that picks up.
Everybody's just not cannon fodder.
Yeah.
Xbox One April OS update details. The One Guide expansion that's coming to Canada, UK, France, Germany, Spain, Italy. We'll begin to explore additional TV features, including TV listings in the One Guide. And
it's just giving those countries what we already have.
One Guide and the Universal Remote Control and Smart Glass. Have you downloaded the Smart Glass beta on your phone?
No, not the beta. No.
Do you go to the Xbox forums for the where you go?
Yeah, but it's not on iOS yet. The beta only includes Android and Windows.
Oh,
yeah,
it's pretty dope. Pretty dope. Silent system update installation, where you can have stuff.
If your system's in standby and it takes an update while it's in standby, it'll return to standby and not just return to all the way off. The console was doing that. One thing about this update that I wanted to say, and I'm glad we got to this point, is it was supposed to fix all the problems with the boxes for DirecTV and Time Warner and several other
J-Ray's
boxes.
not going to sleep until DirecTV is fixed.
No, it's not just DirecTV though. It's Time Warner, Xfinity. There's several companies that have certain boxes that are just locking up. And mine's one of them, and I am on the forums relentlessly trying to find out a solution. And it's not just me, it's thousands of other people. And it was supposed to be fixed in this update, and guess what isn't fixed?
Guess what?
The boxes. And I'm pissed.
Ridley Scott on board for a live-action Halo digital feature. My guess is the Halo game, whatever it happens to be that's coming out this year, they're going to do something sort of like they did with Forward Until Dawn for Halo 4.
Which
Forward Until Dawn was pretty dope.
It was pretty awesome.
It was really awesome.
And after you put all those episodes together,
you watched the whole thing.
It was the length of a movie. It was an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely, and
the length of one and
Ridley
a half
Scott,
episodes of Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Ridley Scott is pretty awesome director, so... some of the movies he's done: Blade Runner, Thelma and Louise, Gladiator, Black Hawk Down, Matchstick Men, Kingdom of Heaven, American Gangster, Robin Hood, and Prometheus. More recently,
Prometheus. That's the last one he did.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto Online High Life Update and Co-op Heist finally coming out this spring.
Oh, yeah.
Too little, too late.
Who gives a crap?
But there's been rumors that Grand Theft Auto 5 is coming out on Xbox One, PS4, and PC in June.
Nice. I will repurchase it.
Me too.
And I will buy a huge cash pack.
And since your character is stored on the Rockstar servers, I hope that they carry over.
Oh, I would love that. Man, that would be great.
You still have your house, your cars, your
because
money.
It's not stored on your console.
Right,
all the information for your character is stored on the Rockstar servers.
So it shouldn't be a problem.
That's what I'm thinking.
Sounds good, man. That'd be fantastic. Then I wouldn't have to buy that huge cash
Yeah, because
pack.
I'm level 120. I've already bought tons of awesome stuff. The attack chopper.
Yeah.
Really don't feel like doing all that again.
Yeah,
or you could just buy a huge.
I don't feel like doing all those races again.
Yeah. Well, they've patched that out.
I knew that. I knew it was coming.
You can't make that much money from races anymore.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Yep. That type of stuff, you got to take advantage of it while it's there.
Yeah.
And we know you did.
Oh, yeah. Level 120, baby.
Yeah. I got up on there and he was like, I was like, let's do this one mission. You can make a lot of money off of it and it's a quick mission. He's like, no, let's just do a race. I'm like, a race? And he's like, yeah, a race with just us two and we'll take turns winning. And sure enough, it worked.
Yeah.
Because it was a one-lap race.
Me and Matt did that shit for like 6 hours one night.
We did. Eventually we got to the bikes.
Yep.
We figured out the bikes were the fastest. Like, we got down to, like, clocking ourselves. Like,
yeah, science. I mean, we were getting that thing done in like a minute and 10 seconds every time. Boom. Just grinding it.
Grinding. All right.
Yeah, it actually got to a point where I had that extra copy of Grand Theft Auto 5 that we were giving away for that contest.
Oh, yeah.
And I signed in Kayla's profile because she has a gold membership on her Xbox. And got her, put Grand Theft Auto on her, and had her just sitting there at the starting line, and I was just winning over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
It was awesome. That was awesome. The Division is on track, insists Ubisoft. No comment on delay rumors. It's on track. Okay? Stop talking about delays, because it's on track. I hope it is on track. I want to see it this year.
Yeah, that's a good game.
New Xbox One game teased by Japanese shmup expert Shinasakuta Mirukira Project. Is what yeah, it's a mystery Xbox One game being developed by 5PB subsidiary Mages. This is the developer of Death Smiles. So definitely love me some shmups. Sign Mora was a really good game. Did y'all play that?
Yeah. I had it.
It's probably one of the best shmups I played in a long time.
I hate that word.
Shoot 'em ups, just shoot 'em ups. What? What if the eyes changing to shmups, just shmups, shmups?
Twitch off to a great start on Xbox One.
That's breaking news. I can't believe, man.
That should have been first, right?
Yeah,
I debated it.
We should have had a whole show for this. I mean, that's front page news.
On March 11th, when Titanfall came out, Xbox One accounted for over 30% of Twitch broadcasts. Wow.
Wow.
And between then and now, there have been almost 1 million broadcasts.
Oh my goodness!
Microsoft put a lot of time and effort into ensuring that Twitch integration was a robust experience, and based on the amount of Xbox One owners streaming from their living rooms, the move paid off, said Twitch COO Kevin Lin.
Remember where you heard it first.
Or third.
Or third.
Or our 13th.
Yeah. Remember where you heard it 13th.
All right, so Metro Redux. It's going to be Metro 2033 and Last Light together as a bundle remaster coming to Xbox One and PS4.
Metro Redux, what the? I mean, on Xbox One, nice.
Yeah, probably ain't going to buy it.
No.
You know? Metro, it was, while a great game, you know, both of them were great.
But it might be the definitive edition.
It's the type of game you really only want to play through once and then never have a feeling for playing forever again.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It's one of those.
It's one of those.
So go Redux yourself.
Press Play got a new Xbox One game launching this holiday for Xbox One and 360. So it'll be on both.
Go Redux yourself.
Now this is of course the developer of Max: The Curse of Brotherhood, which is one of the best
loved it.
Yeah, games on Xbox One right now. It's very original. It's a breath of fresh air when you got so many games that are very similar coming out.
I loved it.
You did?
I loved it.
Capital L OVE?
That's right. I think I reviewed that. Didn't I review that?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Loved it. The new Hitman coming to Xbox One will focus on the core fans, says Square Enix. Square Enix also says that Deus Ex Mankind Divided has been trademarked, so I'm guessing that might be the next gen Deus Ex.
Yeah.
We thought the fall might be that too.
Not trying out to be a mobile, but the good news is it can't be mobile because they just did that. So I'm thinking
it doesn't mean it can. It could be a sequel to the fall. I think you're right, and I hope you're right. But
yeah,
I wouldn't put anything past them.
Watch Dogs identical on Xbox One and PS4.
Good.
Loving it. Diablo 3 Ultimate Edition. Which includes the Reaper of Souls expansion, as we thought.
Mm-hmm.
It's of course it's already been announced for PlayStation 4 a long time ago, and me and Jay Ray have been speculating whether it would be coming to Xbox One. Well, weirdly, Blizzard has confirmed that they're developing it for Xbox One at the same time they're doing the PS4 version, so they'll be ready at the same time, but they won't confirm whether it's going to be ever released.
Could be something to go do with negotiations. They don't want to come out and say, hey, we're going to release it because they haven't agreed on something yet, but they also want to let Microsoft know or whoever know that, hey, we are developing it, so it's no thing to put it on your console.
Right.
So, I'm sure it'll get it worked out, and I'm sure we'll see it on Xbox One.
Dragon Age Inquisition to feature Kinect voice commands.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. I was expecting a little bit more from it.
Well, Mass Effect. Magic 2015.
Hold on, real quick on Dragon Age Inquisition.
Go ahead.
There was more news that came out about that this week.
Of course there was.
There will be no
character DLC.
Party member DLC, because in order for them to do that, because the characters and the party members are so intertwined in the game, they would have had to put it on disc. Because of all the lashback that EA has received for on-disc DLC in the past, they elected not to do that. So,
which I think is a good call.
I do too. I just think, just give us some great party members right from the get-go, which is already like 5 confirmed or something, but that we don't need any party member DLC. But that doesn't mean we won't see DLC.
It won't.
We will see an expansion along the Awakening Read.
Magic 2015 Duels of the Planeswalkers, console exclusive on Xbox One and 360.
But everybody rush out to get an Xbox One at once.
Yep. But obviously I'm a big Magic fan. I own so many cards. I should be ashamed of myself. So I'll be getting it. The Behemoth teases new Xbox One project, and the Behemoth always puts out good games.
Yes, they do.
Castle Crashers, Battle Block Theater, both killer
Battle Block
games.
Theater was fantastic.
Yeah,
and Castle Crashers is still highly played to this day.
Yeah, it is.
So looking forward to whatever they decide to come up with.
Yeah, me too. Hey, whatever they put out, I'll buy it. I don't care if it's a piece of.
There's another possible Xbox exclusive, and then Titanfall, which we brushed on earlier. The private matches are out now.
Yeah,
they're in beta, so you can.
There's also some other small tweaks in that update.
You know what? When you would go to the menu and said play campaign and play classic, they changed that to play multiplayer now. Which I think is great because I thought it was retarded that you go to that menu and said play classic.
Yeah, what does play classic mean? I mean, multiplayer, I guess classic.
Whoever thought of that wording should be shot.
By a Titan.
Free-to-play game, FTS Air Mech Arena coming to Xbox 360 this summer. Got those free-to-play games coming, baby. And is that it? Is that it?
I believe it is.
I think it is. Borderlands the Pre Sequel. Sorry, Jeff couldn't be here for this.
I know.
He's somewhere wetting on himself. He's had a boner ever since it was announced, so that's why he couldn't make it. He couldn't get his stiffy down.
I'm a little bit disappointed that they came out and said they are not working on a next-gen Borderlands at this time. They said it's definitely something that they're going to do or looking into doing, but they felt that the install base for the next-gen consoles isn't
Trials Fusion comes out this week.
Yeah, awesome.
Can't wait. I totally forgot about that game, and then I saw the trailer on the dashboard, and I was like, oh shit, it's 4 days away.
Oh, it's just saying.
Hell yeah!
Doom 4 coming out on May 20th can't be right.
It sounds crazy, right? But yeah, so that's the show. It's been completely awesome. Glad you people could join us.
For this completely awesome show.
Completely awesome. And congratulations once again to our winners of the contest.
Oh, yeah. Slow Lightning.
We'll be and Dark Passenger.
Yep, Dark Passenger.
We'll be in contact with you soon. And we'll catch the rest of y'all on the flip side on the next episode.
Frag Radio.